Alright, so stick around for the cards at the end of the video. Also, we've got stats, of course. Pretty interesting video for you here. We're up against Matrix. This is war number 5. We faced these guys last season. Early in the season, they cleared with 4 deaths only. They were ducked last season, so we're not sure if that clear was legitimate or not, but they beat us, and we finished 4th in the season standings. We would have finished 3rd if we had gotten a win against them last season. So we want revenge. I'm going to be on path 9 in Section 1 and then path 2 in Section 2. And then I've got 2 mini-bosses, MODOK and Heimdall, I'm going to be using Magneto for. So I've got Rulk. We're using Red Hulk for this Symbiote Supreme. And this is a very, very simple fight. Now, this does have Schadenfreude. So with that bleed from the double-edged mastery, he's got that Fury buff that he's just going to keep that Fury buff basically until he's going to refresh that Fury buff actually every time I'm inflicted with a debuff, including the Incinerates and Poisons, even though I'll convert those into heat charges. So anyway, super easy fight. Next we have a Vision Aarkus, and I'm using Claire Voyant here. I did change my masteries. I put on 5 out of 5 Mystic Dispersion. I, of course, am still running Suicides, and I've got Mystic Boosts, obviously. But all I want to do here is slow play this Incinerate phase. You guys see underneath his health bar, there's that gray little fire emblem. That's the Incinerate phase. So I don't want to really start attacking big time until I can go fully into a combo and end with a light attack to get myself into Poison phase so that I have Poison Immunity, which is what I do here. However, I throw that SP2, and with the Mystic Power Back boost, and with the Node and Mystic Dispersion, this Node also has the resist, so you're just constantly feeding power to yourself from Mystic Dispersion. I went straight up back up to an SP3. That's not how I envisioned this fight going, but it actually, obviously, like as you guys can see, it worked out really, really well. That's a pretty safe. Claire's a really safe option if you can get through that first 9-second Incinerate phase without getting cornered or taking hits or having to hit him a lot. But yeah, so super, super easy fight. All right, and then Section 2, I'm going straight to this Red Goblin here. Now, I wasn't able to duel a Red Goblin. I don't think that there's a dual target for a Red Goblin right now, but so I wasn't like completely sure what his animations looked like. I couldn't remember from the event quest, so I'm just going to be blocking all of his specials, and you guys can see I'm not doing a good job managing my suppress, but I was trying to get up to an SP2. That doesn't seem like it's going to happen. I'm going to try a couple more hits here. I don't even punish that because I wasn't sure when his special would end, but you see there, I thought that I had an SP2, and then because of the suppresses, I just lost that power, ended up accidentally throwing an SP1, but he is Incinerated immune, which is great. I'll just stay in Incinerate phase here, and then I'm just going to do heavy attacks. That's just going to help build up my Clairvoyance charges. Doesn't really do a whole lot, but it's just a safe option at this point, now that I'm not getting really any power. But yeah, I mean, super safe fight, even not knowing really what his animations were and all that stuff. Just played it safe, didn't punish specials, that kind of thing. All right, so now we have a Thor Ragnarok, and you see I delayed my attack there until he was magnetized. The magnetize happens 1 second after the fight starts, so when I'm using mags against a metal champ, I try to not attack them for a full second, so I'll usually parry, and then I'll charge my heavy for a second, even though it's not building prowess since I don't have any built up already. But anyway, yeah, you guys will see that this fight, I'm trying to manage my strike counters, but yeah, I'm not doing a great job. It's not really a big deal. I decide that I'm just going to go ahead and chain into an SP1 because of his power passives. And then at this point, I'm just like, you know what? Forget this, man. I'm just going to do heavies because of the additional damage, and just not super concerned about the strike counter. I am able to get off one more SP1, which is great, and then the shrapnel damage is going to help me a little bit. You see the little $3,200 burst damage from the shrapnel. But yeah, overall, easy fight with Magneto. You just kind of got to play it a little bit slowly. Not really a big deal. All right, so this is a fight that I was definitely worried about, but we've taken this fight with rank 3 Magneto multiple times. We've never had a death to this MODOK with Magneto. It is a rank 3 MODOK. I changed my masteries for this fight. I have an optimal build here for this fight. The only thing that you could argue I could have done differently was have Liquid Courage on. I chose not to do that because obviously that would just deplete my health throughout the fight. And since I'm going to be taking a lot of block damage, even with Magneto's perfect block chance, which is 50% against metal champs, I just thought that it would be a little bit smarter to not have Liquid Courage. But I'm not going to be getting any specials in this fight. I'm max boosted. I decided I'm going to block this SP2. The first part of it was a perfect block, which is great. I thought that meant that the second part of it, since it was the same attack, would be perfect block, but it wasn't an even crit into my block, so I lost quite a bit of health. But overall, this fight, you guys can see, we're pretty much even on the health meter. But I feel, at this point, I feel in control of this fight. I just need to bait out heavies, not get cornered, and I need to manage his power. That's basically it. That's all this fight is. So I decided that I'm just going to be blocking his SP1 instead of dexing it. I don't want to trigger Stubborn by dexing it, and I can punish his SP1 if I'm just blocking it. But at this point, you guys see that my crit damage is really helping me out here, and I'm getting into a really good spot. But this is where the fight goes really, really sideways. He won't throw his special, so I'm standing open. I'm trying to bait him. I just don't want to get cornered. I should have hit into his block there. And here, I think that he's going to go into a heavy, and I know that I can't take a heavy because of the incinerates. So I thought that I would try to sneak in a combo as he's winding his heavy up. I lost my invulnerability boost. Now I just need him to throw this SP2. If he doesn't, then I'm going to die. And he doesn't. So now I'm anticipating another heavy. I think that I need to go in because if he throws a heavy and I take that heavy damage, there's no chance I survive. So I took a risk, and it didn't pay off, unfortunately. He just combos me. He gets to an SP3, and then he kills me. So that's my first death of the season. I took this death really, really hard. I don't take any deaths lightly. I hate dying. Obviously, if you guys have been watching my channel for many seasons, you know that I definitely die my fair share. And I really don't take deaths well, but this one, for whatever reason, I really, really hated. I obviously had some opportunities where I could have played it a little bit differently. I was thinking that I could have even possibly, like in that first time when I lost my indestructible boost, instead of trying to anticipate his heavy and intercepting him, obviously the downside of that is if I messed up as I did, he would have full comboed me and completely wiped out the indestructible boost. I could have just done my heavy. And had I done my heavy, even if he had hit me, I would have triggered that unstoppable buff, and I still would have gotten that hit off. I would have saved at least 2 charges on my indestructible boost, and then maybe he would have thrown his special. But if he didn't throw his special too, I could have just pushed him to an SB3, still with 2 indestructible charges, and I would have won that fight. So it was a little bit of an error in critical thinking on my part, but fights get really, it gets really tough when you have to make a calculated risk decisions, in the matter of a half a second. And I just made the wrong one. So it's a learning experience. What we got out of this was Magneto obviously can be a great option for that fight, but on the off chance that MODOK just decides that he's not going to throw his special attacks, then, it can go sideways. So we've decided we're just going to be using our rank 3 Nick Furies against MODOK on that node from now on. It's a lot safer, I think. You get 2 lives. Obviously, you're completely stun immune in your second phase and all that stuff. So here, as you guys can see, I am not playing this fight with a lot of skill. I'm flustered at this point. For the first minute, I couldn't figure out or remember his heavy spacing to counter his heavy attack. But I do finally figure it out, and not his heavy attack. I'm sorry, his SP1. At the very least, I don't have to worry about auto block in this fight because Heimdall is a metal champ, so Magneto can't be auto blocked. But there, I finally get the spacing down. Limber is also triggering quite a bit in this fight, and a lot of times Limber won't trigger against Magneto because of his reduced ability accuracy on metal defenders. So you can actually, and you can also get an extended stun time because of his 50% perfect block chance. But I just didn't have very good luck in these last two fights. Not that that's the reason that I died to them, but it is what it is. It's fine. Overall, as a battle group, we died 3 times, and all 3 were to very good matchups. So you got to live with that. And as an alliance, we cleared with only 4 deaths. So the other 2 groups combined only died once. We won the war. Very happy about that. Here are the stats. All right, and then for the Season 22 tracker, we got to update our top attackers. And sadly, we've got that 1 death now with Magneto. Our perfect record goes away, drops our solar rate down to a little under 96%, which is still good, but just so disappointing. And our true difficulty rating, because of node 53, which is the second highest node value in the PR system, it did go up for the season. So Amir with the silver, FaZe with the gold, and TJ, PG3's own, with the platinum card. Congrats to those guys. Very proud of this win. We got a little redemption. That's it for the video. Leave a like and a comment. I'll see you guys in the next one.